Anyone that is familiar with the server of Elite Anarchy knows exactly what players are capable of when they band together under a common flag. From the mighty group of Vaneay to the builders of Mariana, Elite Anarchy has seen more than its fair share of groups in its lifetime. Many of these groups are created to keep the players involved afloat on the server, while others are created in search of a legacy. Most commonly through building or griefing. In a server with no rules, having player-led factions will eventually lead to conflict. It's pretty much unavoidable. Groups declare each other as enemies, waged battles, and even go as far as to sabotage one another from the inside out. One group on Elite Anarchy has endured through all the above and is still going strong to this day. I am, of course, talking about the renowned Raiders clan, a group led by none other than Vaneay with a current member count of over 145 players. The origin of the Raiders is a tale of many trials and tribulations, sabotage and betrayal, and ultimately, one of a broken bond. I would recommend propping your feet up for this one, because the story that I am about to tell you is absolutely insane. I hope you enjoy it. Oh hey, what's this? You thought I was going to let you get past the introduction without thanking you for 50 whole subscribers. Mate, you thought wrong. The support that you guys have been showering me with makes these videos possible. I gain nothing from making content for you all except your appreciation, which is all I need to keep on doing what I'm doing. 50 is such a big number that I originally thought was basically unobtainable for me, but it was possible all because of you guys. I appreciate you all. I hope to see every one of you if I one day hit the next great milestone. Anyways, enough of the sappy stuff. Let's get on into the legendary story behind the Raiders clan. In order to fully be able to understand how the Raiders clan began, we must take a detailed look at Vanay's time on Elite Anarchy, including his involvement in the Order, a renowned clan that has been long since disbanded. Let's get into it. Vaneay, like many renowned players of today, first joined Elite Anarchy in the November of 2020, following its reopening. He eventually came across a player by the name of Ramon Castro, who, at the time, was the leader of the Order clan and was in search of new players to join his ranks. Ramon took to Van and invited him to stay at an Order recruit base in order to test his worth and to see if he was trustworthy enough to truly be a part of the Order. It was during this time that Ramon and Van began to develop trust between each other, and after a period of 2 weeks, Vaneay was permitted to partake in the main Order base. Upon arriving at the main base, Vaneay was introduced to a number of different players, including one by the name of Thomas, who had been involved in the Order for a longer time than Van. However, he would prove to be instrumental to the path that led to the creation of the Raiders. Two weeks passed without incident since Vanay's arrival at the Order base, but the streak was broken when Thomas placed an end crystal within the base itself. Ramon, who at first glance seemed as tranquil as a forest, revealed the fire that burned within him as he took this harmless action as an attack against the Order. He then proceeded to strike down Thomas on the spot, proving to the server just what type of leader that he was. Ramon's actions would prove to be detrimental to the Order as Thomas returned to the base with vengeance on his mind. He responded to Ramon's attack against him by obliterating the main hub of the Order, setting them back in resources and in structural stability. Now, I am no professional in psychology, but if your leader mercilessly strikes down a fellow teammate, that would set off some red flags in my opinion. But after the attack on the Order base, Vaneay offered to give up his personal base as a temporary Order hub until the Order could get back on their feet. But Van's personal base was hardly used before the construction of a new Order base began. one to rival all the previous ones, and one to ultimately stand as a symbolic structure of who the Order was and what they did. The base would be called Sigma and would act as the primary headquarters of the Order. Located on the edge of an ocean biome, Sigma was initially composed of 3 primary buildings made of pure obsidian, connected by obsidian pathways to allow for easier access. One of these buildings was initially planned to touch the limit of the sky, but sadly was short-lived. Once word got out that the Order had re-established a new headquarters, it didn't take long for it to reach the watchful ears of Vaneay, who acted immediately by tracking down the base and by sending people in to grief the establishment. The loss of 2 main bases in such a short period of time was a dreadful blow to the Order and to Ramen, but as time went on, any negative feelings that may have been developed between Vaneay and the Order was eventually dropped as a joint group was created that would be called Vaneay, to the dismay of many members on both sides. Many players, such as Cat Girl and Bew Bew Boy, disagreed with the joining of the 2 groups, so in retaliation, they created the amendment to defy the new arrangements. Ramen saw this as a traitorous act and declared those in the amendment as enemies to the Order, demanding 300k shulker boxes as payment if they wished to get back into his good graces. The amendment considered this offer and eventually agreed. After duping the necessary amount of shulkers, Bew Bew Boy invited Ramen to his base in order for him to get the shulkers he requested. However, Ramen had no intent of simply taking the shulkers and leaving. Ramen came prepared to seek vengeance against those he deemed as traitors, and he did so by griefing Bew Bew Boy's base. Once word got out of what Ramen had done, disputes broke out among the Order, with many questioning the leadership of Ramen and whether they should still follow him or leave the Order completely. Many players took the option of detaching themselves from the Order, including Vaneay, who went on to found the Raiders clan. The first ever meeting of the Raiders initially took place in a small recruitment base that was established in a distant ocean where many players, including myself, were present. Prior to this meetup, however, Ramen proposed to Vaneay the creation of a council group, similar to the Council of Anarchy, where each player involved would have a single vote. Vaneay refused this offer to the dismay of Ramen. He then proceeded to accuse Vaneay of being a dictator for not adhering to his request of equal representation, and even going as far as to brainwash certain members into joining his ranks with these claims. A war was inevitable, and a war was what resulted. Ramen, along with a player by the name of WP999, griefed Vaneay's personal base. Tensions between the 2 couldn't be higher. The war between Ramen and the Raiders resulted in the destruction of 5 of Ramen's personal bases, setting him back with every passing base that he lost. Ramen eventually grew away from the server, not to be seen again until further months down the road. The Raiders, under Vaneay's leadership, were then able to grow into one of the most renowned and active groups on Elite Anarchy, and eventually establish branches on other Anarchy servers as well. Since their establishment, the Raiders clan have faced many trials, such as the nuking of their Discord server by a former moderator named Pom, but they were only able to grow up from there. As for their relationship with Vaneay, the Raiders are currently allied with them. With all past conflicts having been pushed aside, the Raiders are one of the most respected groups on Elite Anarchy. If you would like to join this group, I will be posting the invite link in the description below. I would highly recommend checking them out. They have hosted many events so far, such as a spawn meetup that successfully gained over 20 player participants and currently have established over 8 bases across the server. New players are most welcome, but with that, I am going to end the video here. Let me know what you think about how the Raiders were initially founded. Do you agree with the leadership tactics used by Ramen in the days of the Order? Thank you so much for watching. Become a part of the crew by hitting subscribe, and I will see you all again next week for another upload. Catch you guys later.